Is Ms. Vukиćевиć from Montenegro. Ms. Vukиćевиć, please take the floor.
Thank you. Dear Chair, dear colleagues, first of all, I would like to thank the rapporteur for the very detailed information he provided in his report. I will focus my address to the situation that has been happening in recent months in Montenegro, the country I represent, and the country that was mentioned in one part of the report as one of those in which complaints about the existence of police torture has been noted. Over the last few months, the public in Montenegro had the opportunity to read hundreds of messages shared between people belonging to criminal clans and members of the police administration concerning developments happening in Montenegro before the change of government in 2020. That correspondence clearly shows the connection between Milo Đukanović regime and part of the police with criminal activities. Photos that police officers sent to leaders of criminal clans were also published, showing scenes of torture of people who were literally abducted for the sake of criminals. To date, none of those cases have received a judicial epilogue. In the messages that police officers and criminals sent to each other, there is also evidence of the intention to attack MPs before forming the government in 2020. Women parliamentarians were also, among others, target of those attacks, organized with the aim to help the Democratic Party of Socialists and Milo Đukanović to retain power. That same regime, which was obviously in such a way connected with crime, enjoyed the support of various international institutions, which didn't even react to the persecution of opposition leaders that took place in the period before 2020. The police and the judiciary were used as a means of dealing with the opposition at that time, primarily the Democratic Front, which today is the Coalition for the Future of Montenegro. The leaders of the Democratic Front, Milan Knežević and Andrija Mandić, were prosecuted in a false case of alleged terrorism. Moreover, in the messages exchanged with the police officials, the leaders of the criminal clans mentioned an attempt to buy a verdict against the leaders of the Democratic Front. I would like to remind you that the mother of Milan Knežević, the president of the Democratic People's Party and the former member of this assembly, a retired teacher, was arrested after a group of over 20 police officers entered her house in the middle of the night. That provoked no reactions from the Council of Europe nor from any other international addresses. On the contrary, such inaction revealed the existence of double standards and the fact that in this House, as well as other addresses, when it comes to things like this, we usually witness political hypocrisy. In which other way could we possibly explain the international support to that kind of regime in Montenegro until 2020? People who held important positions during the government of Milo Đukanović are now facing trials. The fact is that two former police directors were arrested on charges of serious crimes. Several judges and prosecutors are also in custody, including the former special state prosecutor who played a major role in fabricating evidence against Milan Knežević and Andrija Mandić. The former president of the Supreme Court is also part of this correspondence, which indicates that she directed many lower-ranking judges and prosecutors on how to proceed in certain cases. Among others, the messages she exchanged with the president of the Judicial Council in the case against the opposition leaders are also available and shared with the press. All this happened in Montenegro in the period before the change of government. So I underline that until 2020, Montenegro was a private state in which the police, judiciary, government and crime were closely connected, and everyone closed their eyes on that. Luckily, this government lost the elections, and nowadays Montenegro and its new parliamentary majority are strongly committed to speeding up the pace toward the full membership in the European Union. Nevertheless, I believe that it is very important to talk about past mistakes and actions in order to secure that they do not repeat ever again. To conclude, it is also a message to all of us in the Council of Europe and other organizations that we must react equally to all cases of torture and political persecution without the selectivity that is still present. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vukиćevиć.